All right, so far we've done an inline style where we're putting it inside the code with the header or the parent tag. Then we've done an internal style where we're creating a style sheet essentially inside the head tag of the page. Now what we're going to do is create a whole separate file that gets linked in and makes it so that if we make any other pages, they can all use the same linked style sheet. And then if a change gets made on that linked style sheet, it cascades through every HTML file we ever link to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save this. So file save if you haven't saved it yet for your index.html, and we're going to create a new file. So we're going to go to file and new. This time instead of creating an HTML file, we're creating a CSS file. And we're going to go ahead and create that. So I'm going to choose CSS for my document type and then click create. You'll see that this will look very different. It doesn't really have a split view or a live view because a CSS file doesn't have a split or live option. It just is code that is then being linked into the HTML. It's telling the computer what type of character set it's using and that this is a CSS document so that when the browser, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, any of those internet browsers find it, it knows we're coding in CSS and not in HTML syntax. So I'm going to go to line 4 here. I'm going to go to my index.html and I'm going to take everything in the style tag. Actually, let's just take the whole style tag. We're going to grab the whole style tag start to finish. So mine is currently, I'm going to go into code view, line 6 through line 32. I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut those, or Control X on my keyboard. Cut removes them from the page and puts them in your clipboard to paste somewhere else. So I'm going to go to entitled 1 and I'm going to paste. That brings everything in. However, you're going to see that there are 2 lines that are red on the left, 4 and 30, because they're using HTML inside CSS and we don't need them. So I'm going to delete the style tag, and you'll see that when I click off of it, the red goes away because those are tags and symbols that are not used in CSS. And then everything else is pretty tabbed in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and shift tab that. So if you highlight them and hold shift tab on your keyboard, you can shift tab them back. And now you have CSS coding. If you go back to your index and you go into split or live mode, you're going to see none of your style is in there anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and link in that CSS file. This is again something that is occurring on this page, but not manifesting on the page, but doesn't need to be down in the actual page, the body. It's going to still be up in the head, just like we had before. After the title and on line 6, where our style tag used to be, this time we're going to do a link tag. We're going to link in to another file. Now, this link tag does not have an opening or a closing because it's not linking us to somewhere else. It's bringing and importing a link file. So that way, if that linked file gets changed, it's going to go ahead and bring it in. So I'm going to actually make this have a slash at the end because it's a standalone tag. It doesn't have an open and close. It's not containing anything. There's no containment happening. All right. We're then going to do 2 things in here. The first thing is we're going to tell the computer what we're linking. Are we linking, a style sheet? Are we linking an icon? Are we linking a preloaded file? We're linking a style sheet. So we're going to do REL, which is a relationship. So what kind of relationship is this link? Well, relationship is equal to a style sheet because we're relating a style sheet in here. I'm then going to move outside my quotation marks. And the next thing is I haven't told the computer where to find the style sheet and import all the style from. So this is where you're going to tell the computer where to find it. Now, when we do images, we do IMG and then we do source, SRC, for finding that image. Now we're going to start talking about href or hyperlink references. What's a hyperlink? Okay, we've used hyperlinks before. You may not even know you're using hyperlinks. Anytime you go to Google and you search for something, like a CSS link, for instance, every single one of these blue things is a hyperlink. Hyperlink, 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 hyperlink. They link you to something. These buttons up here are hyperlinks linking you to something. That's a hyperlink. Does it have to be text? Nope. It can be an image. It could be whatever you want it to be. And so what we're doing is not just a hyperlink for an H, but a hyperlink reference, so href, hyperlink reference, to say, hey, this is where it is. Now you're going to see that your computer is going to ask you to browse the second you put in those quotation marks. But we have an issue. There's no CSS file up here to go find. Why isn't there a CSS file here to go find yet? Well, we didn't save it. We opened up a CSS file, created a new one, but never saved it. We never put it anywhere for the computer to go find. So we need to go to File. We need to click on our Untitled one, go to File, Save As. We need to make sure we're in the same folder as our Notes website. You should see Index right there. And we are going to create a Notes style sheet. No spaces, remember, all lowercase. This is great for when we begin coding so our computer doesn't get confused, and hit Save. You're going to see that this is not saving as an HTML file, it's saving as a CSS file because we made a new CSS file. So the file extension is .css. Now it appears over here in our Files panel as well. And now if we go to Index and we remove these quotation marks, I'm going to do this again, and open those quotation marks again, you're going to see that not only do you have Browse, Assets folder, Index, but if you scroll down, you actually, I'm going to use my arrow key to go down, should have a Note style sheet. CSS is not popping up, probably because it's not pulling from it. So I'm going to do this again. I want to see this real quick because I want to show it to you. I'm going to do an href, see if it updated. Nope, it still doesn't think it there. Well, you know what? We can hit browse. So we're going to hit browse and we can actually grab the Note style sheet instead of having Dreamweaver have that drop down menu, because apparently it didn't want to update, which is fine, and click OK. And it's going to put in Notes style sheet.css. And then I bet you, watch this, if we click up in our live view up here, it updates and everything gets pulled. This is really cool, really, really, really cool, because all we've done is said, hey, File, go link and find this Note style sheet, grab all the CSS from it and bring it in here and apply it. And not only that, but it's also got the source code up here now and the linked file. So do you need this open up here anymore? Nope. Okay. And now if you go to Note style sheet right here, you can pop between your Note style sheet and your CSS at the same time and still be in live view or split view. So for instance, if you go click Note style sheet.css and change this to blue, it's going to change and cascade across. Notice you get a little asterisk here and an asterisk here because you haven't saved either file. What's really cool is you can go to File, Save, but one of the features is to save all at the same time, and they all save at the same time. All right, you've just learned how to create an external style sheet by linking it in. That's an external file that we are importing in through a link tag to then apply to the page. So we've learned about inline styles inside the parent tags, internal styles inside the head tag, and linked external CSS files that cascade across this file, plus any future files we link to it. Good job! Make sure you've saved everything.